So nice to
I
meet you.
know.
I'm really looking forward to our conversation today as part of the Food Service Women's Alliance Women's History Month to hear a little bit about your story, your passion, and all things Junie. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell me a little bit about your company to get us kind of grounded in what exactly it is that you're doing?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Um, I think I'm very excited to share my journey with Food Service Women Alliance as well. Hopefully, can inspire more other to do the same as well. So, first of all, my company, consulting company is called Global Cuisine Consulting. But soon, hopefully, in January 2026, and I'll have a second one actually as well that's called Light Personalized. It's so both actually all related about food as medicine because when I first started the wanted to start a company, I was thinking I want to help people to eat healthier. And that is really my bottom line. And I thought about it, well, how do I do that, right? I mean, it's the next step is like, all right, this is what you want to get to as a result, and how are you going to approach that? And I thought about how growing up, my mother always taught me about food as medicine, cooking what to get to healing your eyes, be more energetic. And so I said, there's one thing we do eat every day, and I'm already coming from a product development world. And then I thought to myself, well, what about clean label, good for you product development? And initially, that's how it led me to starting Global Cuisine Consulting to help people to develop clean label, good for you food products in the food industry.
Can you explain a little about your education background? It's really impressive.
Very long.
It
Do we have
is.
20 minutes?
I love it. Well qualified.
Well, I got I have a business background because I have a business background. I got an MBA because my parents kind of really believed that any business start with it knowing how to run a business. So they wanted me to make sure I study business. So I got a business, but then I really like hospitality industry. So in conjunction of that, I throw myself into hospitality, hotel restaurant management. But then halfway through my career, I also realized that I really love working with food. Hospitality, hotel, restaurant, and management is just like not enough for me. I want to go into a little bit more detail. So then I went into a culinary degree and specialized in baking and pastry on top of that.
Okay.
Then after somewhere around another path that I come to thinking right when I started my consulting company, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I want to help people to eat healthy, but I need to earn the credential to be able to speak of it. I don't want to just like a blogger just talk about anything. So then I said, all right, what can I do to earn this credential? Then I signed up for my PhD in natural medicine.
Oh, just sign up for a
Just
PhD.
um and along the line and 7 years later I completed my PhD in September this year.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I do see a difference because I think there are, to your point, a lot of bloggers out there, right? Like trying to share their insights, secrets, and that. But I do find yours, I don't know why, but I do feel like there's a lot of credibility behind it. And I think that has to do with the path you took to get there, putting all the pieces together.
Thank you, appreciate to hear that.
Yeah. What's the most rewarding part of this journey for you? Like you're there, you're on it. Is it what you expected? Is it feeding you the way you're hoping to feed others?
Yes, definitely. The expectations, I think it's let's just put it this way. I mean, of all the spiritual books that we read and learning, you should not never have an expectations, but I find that very difficult coming from a business background, right? Because business is all about planning and where you go and kind of, have a map to go according to it. But then if you just kind of say, no, I have no expectation, I'm just going to go with the flow. I don't know what am I going to wake up to do tomorrow. I don't think that, you can get there the way you get there. But being a business owner from, working for corporate, it's like it's very different. You need to wear many, many hats because all of a sudden you're not just a project manager or a product developer. You are now have to think about how you're gonna talk to people, how are you gonna sell your business, how are you going to do your accounting, how are you gonna do your marketing. You all of a sudden become jack of all trades. And I think that is it makes you have to learn a lot. And then of course with the social media growing, I remember learning how to create my own website and learning how to post on social media effectively. It's not just making your Facebook post, I eat this today, and then what, you know? So that part is definitely a huge learning process for me. Expectations wise, again, it's like after some point, you'd be like, okay, it's definitely not what I expected to be, have to learn all of that. And then the next part is then you do have to go with the flow at some point. After you do all your duties, and then you just have to sit back a little bit and let's see what works and what doesn't work.
I think a lot of people have great ideas. I think I have them every day. But I don't usually I don't have the courage or the foresight to be an entrepreneur, to be an owner, to be innovative the way that you did. Where did you find that? Did that come from your parents, from your background? Is it just something in you? Like, did you always know you wanted to own your own business?
I think all of the above that you mentioned, my parents are entrepreneurs. They started their own bakery, at their mid 30s, and they grow it just because they kind of understand that they have to feed their family. So they just, they just know they have to wake up and work hard. Like I remember waking up 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning to go to work with my parents. And at a time, there's no babysitter. Like while they're working, I'm playing in the bakery. And so you kind of understand, like, if you want to put food on the table, you just make it work. You just think hard to make it work. You plan for it and you make it work. And I think that's always in me. You know how sometimes people say you just start flying and then you just make it out, whatever, how to build your wings as you go.
Ask
And
questions later.
so, but I think, of course, you also have to think about the consequences and also how to plan for it. You can't just blindly say, let me fly and see how hard I fall. I don't quite believe in that. You have to really believe, look at, say, all right, if I do this, like, can I afford to fall? And if I fall, then what are the consequences? Especially nowadays, I mean, we all have to have benefits. We all get sick. How do you pay for that, right? It's different than when you're working for corporate. You can get your benefit plans. But like for me now, I'm on a marketplace. Marketplace is so expensive.
Yep.
You
Hmm.
have to calculate all this realistic of life. And I was lucky when I first started. My husband is the bacon winner. So while he has a job to f put food on the table, I get to play and take a little risk. So that's how it works for me.
Awesome. I love it. Now, what about support, mentors? Do you have anyone or have you had anyone outside of your family inspiration that helps you along the way or has helped you?
I think along the way there are multiple different kind of mentors. There is some friends and family really are emotional because sometimes you kind of felt like things are working, but then you're so afraid. You'd be like, what if that didn't work? You always kind of have to need a little somebody to kind of pet talk with you a little bit and say, don't worry. Have you done this? Have you talked to this person? And then even professionally, sometimes you like, when you don't know where to look for business anymore. I think that is the most scary part. It's not like I have a shop to open up, can put a sign up, 50% off today, come on in. It's like being a consultant working behind in your home, you kind of can't do that. So sometimes you have to go out and network and talk to different people or friends in the industry, and then they will be like, "Oh, you know what? There's something there going on in the special event. Maybe they can help you up to, You can give a speech there for exposure, or even some friends that consultant like me, sometimes I would ask them, I said, how did you do it? Like, how did you be a consultant and able to get business? Like, what do you do when you have no business? So definitely all different kind of few different mentors in different areas.
That's a no. What do you think is the biggest challenge? Is it that finding new business as a consultant and constantly having to activate on that, or the content, or it's just a lot? You're wearing so many hats.
Um, well, good thing I've never sit still, so that helps a lot.
That helps.
Um, I think the biggest challenge is, well, one, having the confidence to want to talk about yourself. I don't necessarily like that. Come look at me, I'm really good. Come hire me. It doesn't work like that. Um, like even for social media posting, for a long time, I struggle how to promote the business. Because like, how do you tell people what you're good at? And to me, product development is such a skills. It's not like I can just say I can do ABC, come hire me. And every product development have different specialties, have different way of doing it. So there's no black and white. It's a process. You can't talk about a process until you have a product in front of you. So it's very invisible. I talk to many, many different people, go back to a mentorship, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in sales, whether in product development, asking, really trying to dig deep. How do you talk about product development as a business?
That's awesome. What do you think is the biggest surprise along the way that you've found?
The consulting business, besides working with big corporate firms, I also help a lot of smaller companies and entrepreneurs like me as well. The mentorship and mentor some of this new business getting into food business and also helping them to be successful. That definitely gives me a huge satisfaction seeing others being successful as well.
Awesome. Is there a particular story or brand, something that project that you've worked on that was maybe one of your favorites, or maybe it was hard and you overcame challenges, like your favorite story to tell about your business?
Well, to me, let's just put in a little broader spectrum just because I didn't ask for permission for anybody to tell their
Yeah,
story. So I think the biggest part that always amazed me is the network in the food business. See, for us being in food service women alliances, I think we all sharing our specialties, our network, and how to help each other out. And in product development that I do, it's not just developing a product, right? It's developing the concept and then developing the product actually using marketing. When you develop a product, you have to make sure it sells. You're not developing a product for nothing. And the most important is, when they develop a healthy product they want to sell, then the ingredients a lot of time is very unique and hard to find. So having all this networking of people that able to help me. Sometimes I may ask let's say a purchaser that I used to work with in Domino's before, I say, hey, have you seen this product before? Like ingredients, have you? And they were like, no, I haven't seen it before. But you know what? I have another friend. He was a distributor. And let me call her and see whether she knows anything. It's like a trickling down to one person calling another person. It's like it take a whole village to really build one product. I felt like that feeling is very amazing. And sometimes I would even make calls all the way to Asia to make a connection back to a product that's being produced in the US, or sometimes vice versa. So I felt like the world is getting smaller.
I love that. I love that. How much do you think your ethnicity and the Asian influence, like you talked about your mom talking about food as medicine, um, did that really impact where you went? Like you could have gone a lot of different ways in food, but how you went where food is medicine. really goes back to your roots and to your parents and to your mom and conversations. Is she proud of what you're doing? I bet she is.
Yes, absolutely. I think one time she kind of mentioned to me, she's like, "Oh my God, it's like, I'm so glad you actually like picked up something from me."
You
Um,
listened.
yeah, it's like, well, of all the time, it's like I always joke with them. I said, one time when I actually call home and tell my parents I'm going to sign up for a PhD program, and they were like, "What? You're studying more after 4 degrees you already have? You're going for more?" And I was like, yeah, remember those days when you actually worried that I'll never graduate from my bachelor?
I love it, Judy. That's
And
awesome.
now you think I'm studying too much. And my father kind of like, being realistic. And he's like, when are you gonna start earning money, maybe? Would
I
be-
think it's what distinguishes you. It's what I definitely notice. I'm trying to, eat healthier like a lot of people, especially of my generation. We didn't necessarily grow up with the ease of information or understanding that. And I think convenience had a lot to do with how my mom cooked rather than health and all of that. So, but I do think like seeing your education, understanding how you portray it when I read your blog and looked on LinkedIn is what differentiates you from just, anyone who can blog anything about food.
Yeah,
I do think. I think
yeah.
you definitely command some attention. And I think it's well earned for sure.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I definitely not discounting the science, and I think I agree with you. I even for me, like I remember growing up, like we just eat fresh. You just cook what you have. There's not as much of convenient food around. Even if you go out to eat at restaurants, food is prepared fresh. I think our world is changing a little bit. We have more packaged food now. Um, um, I know there's a new term, not so new anymore. It's been about 4 or 5 years talking about ultra processed food, which is a word that I absolutely disagree because that kind of put all the food that food need processed, which to cook. We're not eating an apple, we're not eating a carrot. So I think that term is irrelevant. It's more to say do not eat junk food, which is
Yeah.
the 80s was the big word because packaged food just started to come out, but they're saying that junk food is bad for you. But now the new term is ultra processed food is bad for you. I was like, depending on what's in it, right? I mean, we all work nowadays. You can't even find both parents working. And if you don't have food that is ready made, they can't even put food dinner on the table. So the lifestyle has changed significantly for us now. So that's a different part of it. But yes, fresh cooking, food as medicine, it's understanding how we eat it, how it's good for us. We have science telling us which food has different kind of nutrients of all of that. So, which is good to combine. With my other new side of the business coming out is a personalized health, and I'm actually want to talk about showing people to learn about your body constitution, which is your body type, part of traditional Chinese medicine. And so when you know what kind of body you are, then you should choose lifestyles and food that fit you, that makes you healthier.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I mean, there's so much talk now with all the GLP-1s and that, and it is changing for people, but they're eating less. But I think it's even more important for the people eating less that they eat right. It's
Yes.
easy to eat a little of not very good food, but if you're eating less, I think it's even more important to make sure there's a balance of protein and fresh vegetables and things like that in it. I can see a big place for that as well.
The, I need to ask for the right from you to repeat that one. You said it perfectly. Eat less, but eat it perfectly right for yourself.
Yep, yep,
I also,
absolutely.
and I felt like, especially with social media nowadays, everybody have something that they believe in that is like, this diet is good for you. This particular food is good for you. There's so many products, so many diets out there. But it's like, to me, when you look at it at first glance, I was like, first of all, how do I know this is good for me? How do I know this is, um, my body is able to accept this? And they're so expensive. And you could get sick too from eating the wrong stuff. Just because it said it's healthy doesn't mean it's suitable for you.
For you. Yeah, we're all different, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one size fit all when it comes to food. Well, certain food can be.
Awesome. I have another question I want to ask you. What would you share with someone who has an idea like you had, but is trying to find the courage to make that leap? Like, is there, I know there's nothing magic, but that making that leap of actually pursuing it, I think, is unique in individuals that are able to be an entrepreneur.
Um, well, there's two ways to look at it. The number one part I think is easier is to write your business plan. Because the business plan, there is a format which, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can help us to get you to
ChatGPT.
the, the business plan format, because that helps you to see the realistic of the planning. And then the other part of it, which is more emotional to yourself, you have to kind of really measure it out and say, is that the kind of lifestyle I want? Does that fit into my personal lifestyle? I actually, over the years, I think these people are so smart. I have few different people reaching out to me and say, I always want to be a consultant like you. Like, can I talk to you? Um, and really understand, like, what does it take to be a consultant like you? Um, and I'm always very happy to talk to them because, honestly, it is quite a journey. It's been 7.5 years. I've been in business and simultaneously doing my PhD. And you have a family to attend to. You can't just close the door and say, I'm busy and don't talk to me. And then also you had to think about, can you afford not having, benefits? So everything you have to put in consideration, and then the lifestyle change is pretty significant than going to work 8 to 5.
Definitely, definitely. Are there any questions or is there anything I forgot to ask you that you would just love to share either about your business or about your experience at FWA as well? Has FWA been able to help you and allow you to meet other like-minded women in the business?
Absolutely. I think the FWA definitely is a very, very inspiring group. I've been in many different kind of business group, but FWA is very, very unique because it's built in a very pure mindset for like-minded female in the industry to share, whether to lift each other's up. So I think that is the most important part. Um, and I think the other part of it is food. We all kind of working some part of the food, right? This
Yeah.
goes back to my previous conversation. We're a big family is lifting, celebrating food in the industry. And so I hope through all these specialties that we all carry, we make the food industry better.
I love that, Junie. I think that's an awesome way to end the conversation. I can't thank you enough for taking time to do this. Wish you best of luck. I will be following along, as will all the women of FWA supporting you. But thank you for everything that you do in making food and our world a little bit better. Thanks for your time, Junie.
Thank you, Lynn.